Are you tired of special interests and large corporations controlling our state capital? If we want to change Tallahassee, we need to change who we send. I'm Sara McFadden. I'm running for Florida House District 106. I grew up in South Jersey in a very large family. Not much money, but lots of relatives who were all interested in their community and volunteered. My family ran the city council, the school board, and founded the first aid squad. I learned those lessons early. I went to a local college and lived at home while holding 3 different jobs to be able to graduate. I was an operations manager for Chubb Insurance and a regional administrative manager for American International Group, AIG. We moved to Connecticut where we raised our family, and I ended up going back to school at FIT. My opponent tried, did not succeed despite mailing to 60,000 Republicans petition forms. And he had to pay the fee, so he is on the ballot. But I'm very proud of that because in his letter to his Republicans, he said, it would be a strong indication of support in the district. So I'm thinking that I'm the one with the strong support in the district. So that's kind of fun. So our campaign has gotten now 11 endorsements. I'm about to announce another one. Just waiting for the format to come through. And I think it's wonderful. They're all state level organizations like Planned Parenthood, the Florida Planned Parenthood PAC, like Ruth's List, which that's an amazing thing for a first-time candidate in a red district to even receive. So I'm quite honored by that one. Several of the Democratic caucuses. And also the AFL-CIO, the Florida AFL-CIO has endorsed me in my campaign, so I'm very excited, as they have endorsed David. David and I are both gun sense candidates. That is a distinction, not an endorsement, from every town, and it's Moms Demand Action gun sense candidates, so we are both proud of that. What else can I tell you? Money-wise, David is absolutely right. This is obscene, how much money we spend on elections and how much time we spend as a nation. We should be legislating, not spending all of this time and money. It's embarrassing to me. I'm not ashamed to ask for money, but the time that we spend doing it, I'd much rather be out talking to people, which I enjoy. So, but we actually have been ahead with cash on hand since May 31st. And when you consider that our opponent is Koch brothers funded and a 93% NRA rated candidate, that's kind of amazing. For the first time ever in the last reporting period, we earned more money than he did. So I'm quite proud of that. And that's what big organizations look at. The AFL-CIO looks at that. The House Victory, that is a political organization that helps House candidates run for office in many different ways. So I'm starting to get their attention. I don't have their endorsement yet, but I'm trying to get it because it would help us win. We have to win. When they say we're out here working to save democracy, that's so true. And I think all of you are here because you know that. So, so what's happening in our state? We are phone banking and calling the unaffiliated. That's the NPAs. There's more of them in my district than Democrats. So we're phone banking and we're asking them, what do they care about? And then we try and find commonality with them. And I suggest that to you if you're talking to people. Find out what they're thinking. You might be surprised that they agree with you with some things. Most people are worried about the environment. We have 11 counties that are in danger. It's in the air, it's in the water, it's killing fish. There was articles and information in the media this week about watch what fish you eat. I mean, this is a serious, and they have known this is coming. John Capice spoke at the gubernatorial, I have to learn that word, gubernatorial debates prior to the filming. And he said they knew the rivers were going to turn green, and they haven't been able to stop it. And it will take a while to change that back. In the meantime, what happens to our economy? What happens to our economy when our visitors stop coming? The environment is the economy. We all know that. It affects us, the money that's coming into our county, the visitors that pay the sales tax that contribute to our programs, everything about it. What will happen to the value of your home if the tourists stop coming? That's our economy. So it's a problem. Not just a health risk, which of course it is. You can't get close to the beach when there's red tide. I can't anyway. Most people start to cough. So what is in the air? It's just so scary to me. Education. Kathy's the best one to tell you that public education is under duress. You know, they are constantly raiding the money that would go to public education. We are now funding private schools. We are funding for-profit and religious private schools with those voucher programs. And that money is not going into the general revenue fund. There's a dollar-for-dollar tax credit for large corporations to move their money into private schools. And they're doing it. It's 700,000 already this year. They're expecting it to be $1 billion a year of taxes that are diverted from use as public funds. Some of that money would have gone to public education, but it's just in general. Our budget is being depleted because of this voucher program. It's a serious problem. On the ballot this year, there are 13 amendments. As we get closer to the election, there will be a lot of talk about that, but one of them is very serious for public education. It's Amendment 8. The charter school companies have invested $40,000 so far to convince us that Amendment 8 is a great idea. What Amendment 8 will really do, because you have to read the fine print on these things, they're slick. Amendment 8 gives room to establish a state board of education that will only control charter schools. So our school boards will no longer have any say at all. They don't have a lot now. So Kathy will tell you more about it, I'm sure, but Amendment 8, we have to vote no on Amendment 8. We have to make sure that the power stays in our school boards and, in fact, gets more. We need more power in school boards, not less. Charter schools are not the same. They say public charter schools, but they don't have the same requirements. They don't have the same oversight. We have good charter schools here and bad, but the rest of the state, especially around Orlando, has very bad charter schools. So you have to take it on a case-by-case basis. Some of them are good, but the local school boards are the ones that should know about that, and they should have more power to do that. The only way to do that is to change Tallahassee. We need to change who we send to make sure that they have the power that they need and the oversight that they need. So what else is happening? I'm very concerned as a woman. Less than 25% of the state legislature are women. We need to change that. You know, there are serious problems for women, not just the abortion issue, the health care issue, private decisions. As David was explaining, Roe versus Wade is actually about privacy. It's not just about women's rights. It's about privacy for every citizen. And it's so wrapped up in the rule of law that some scholars feel that it will be difficult to change it. And that could be a good thing for us, despite what happens on the Supreme Court. Because so many decisions have been based on it that they might find it more difficult. So that's some good news. But in the state of Florida, there are already people that, now everybody in the State House, everybody is up for election. Everybody. You know, it's every 2 years you have to run again. So there are already people that have been there before that think they're going to be reelected, that are assuming they're going to be reelected. And if they are, they're planning already just to do away with abortions entirely in Florida. That's their plan. It's not just the heartbeat thing that got passed in Idaho. It's all abortions. And if that passes, it's scary. It's really scary. They're attacking women. They're taking it's all about disparaging women. So obviously we need to fight back, and the best way to do that is to elect people to Tallahassee that care about women. Now, we are very fortunate in Collier County that we have a full slate for state and federal. And I know that's the first time since 1978 because no one has run in my district since 1978. No Democrat has run since 1978, and the man that did lost. So they have convinced us over 40 years that we can't win. It's too hard. It's too difficult. You're never going to make this happen. Well, we're going to prove them wrong. We are going to approve them. I'm open for questions. I think that's probably a good place to break. I don't want to take too much of your time. So I'm available for questions. The state, what happens at the state level matters. The newspapers do not report on the candidates. They promised that after the qualifying period, which was June 22nd, they would have reporters that would cover the race. I can't get in the paper unless it's a letter to the editor, which is, if you feel so inclined, please write to the Naples News, and hopefully something favorable, and support that's the only way I can get in the paper. I've sent them press release after press release every time I get an endorsement. These are state level endorsements. Every time I get one, I send them a press release. It doesn't go anywhere. That means they're really, by default, they're supporting my opponent. Right. So, and I don't mention his name unless you ask me, but because I think more people know about me. But anyway, it's important. We don't have enough reporting about the state level. We do concentrate an awful lot on the state, the Board of Education, which is important. But every level of government is important. And we know a lot about Congress. We know a lot about the county level. But we need more information out there about the state, and I'm trying to change that. I'm Sara McFadden. I'm running for Florida State House in District 106.